4th of July?
Fairly chill. Saw two of my nieces and my brother on Monday, and then didn't do a whole lot yesterday, so it was nice. What'd y'all do? Anything fun?
So we've been doing the Peachtree Road Race virtually every year
Right.
for since 2020, right? So 2020 was the first year they did it virtually, and I'm assuming that they made so much money that they're like, we're never gonna not do it this way again.
Right. Makes sense. Easy cash
Um,
grab.
oh yeah, and then trying to find this post real quick. So this year we've done it every year at the same when we do it virtually, we do it every year at the same place, which is I don't know if you went there when you were here. I don't think we did, but it's Wrightsville Beach. It's just down the road. It's maybe 15 minutes from our house. But they have this thing called the Loop at Wrightsville, and it's uh, a combination of a couple of different roads and sidewalks, but it's about 2.9 miles around. So if you do the loop twice, it's almost a 10K. So you do a little bit extra to get the 10K distance in. And I have it pulled up here on my map, my run, so I can, that's what I'm scrolling back for. So fun illustration of life and events, right? So the first time I did this, November 2020. So Peachtree Road Race typically takes place on July 4th in 2020 because everything got shut down and was still closed. They figured out how to do it virtually and pushed it all the way to November. Um, so the fun thing on the uh, shirts on the back, it says something 2020 can't stop or something like that on the back of the Peachtree Road Race shirts of 2020. My average mile pace in 2020 was 8 minutes and 25 seconds. Okay, for 6.2 miles. And then fast forward in 2021, my average mile pace was 8 minutes and 15 seconds.
Ooh.
Still going strong, still doing well. And then we had August, and it's my second son. So now I had to push two children in a stroller that were at that time small. And my average pace jumped up to 10 minutes and 4 seconds.
Almost like pushing children slows you down a little bit there. I don't know.
and and then this year we have a third child, which added a lot of extra layers to my life. I now have multiple jobs, so that way we can afford life thanks to inflation and again post pandemic. And my older two children are now also bigger, and my own personal workout routine has derailed until I can figure out what works with the flow of having three children, multiple jobs, and all those things. So, to further illustrate that, my 10K time average pace jumped from 10 minutes and 4 seconds to an average pace of 14 minutes and 28 seconds. so, um, so if that's not an illustration to people out there that life does us a bunch of things to you, um, and it'll change things that you're used to doing well to make you maybe not do them as well as you did before. However, I would like to point out, which is will lead us into our topic today, is that the optimum number of workouts for you in a week is whatever you can work in.
Yep. Yeah, like we can, yeah, regurgitate all kinds of different studies and ACSM guidelines and all that stuff. But uh, at the end of the day, if it doesn't fit into your life, it doesn't fit into your life. And we've talked about that before from a nutrition standpoint. And of course, today we're going to talk about it from a fitness and workout standpoint.
Yeah. And I would say that there is definitely science to back up all of those, very specific claims. If you are looking to do X thing as far as a fitness standpoint, you want to hit a certain average pace for a 5K or a 10K. You want to lift a certain amount of weight in a certain lift. You want to have a certain physique, whatever. Any of those things.
Even if it's the recommendation for 150 minutes of moderate to physical activity for the, to decrease the risk of various things. But I feel like so many people often get bogged down by that. It's like, oh, I know I need to hit 150. I know I need to work out 3 days a week. I know I need to do this, to that. And so it becomes this all or nothing mentality. It's like, well, like I have 3 kids, I have 5 jobs, I have this, I have that. Well, if I can't do the 150, screw it, I'm done. And so
Right.
yeah, I think that's where that optimal time comes in of like let's do something. Let's fit something into your lifestyle.
Yeah. And for the past several months now, my youngest child is 4 months old. So for the past several months, I've only been working out 1 or 2 times a week. Just get something in, just to do something. And sometimes that workout is only a mile run or a 3 mile run or some amount of body weight exercise. And the whole point of it being is that it is the least I could do to continue to take care of myself, both physically and mentally, to get some amount of activity in. There's so many benefits to even if you just take a 15-minute walk, which we've gone over before,
Absolutely.
that even if it's just something really small, you could probably fit something in that's really small and have a massive amount of things that could help you. But if you are looking to maximize the benefits of everything, I still stand by strength training is superior to cardiovascular work. And if you can take that further, if you have the amount of time to get a total body workout in, that's going to be a bit more beneficial to you than just doing a single body movement if your only ability to do is just one workout a week. You know?
Absolutely. Yeah. Just get a full body in, like the typical, 8 to 10 exercises for every major muscle group. Yeah. Totally. Eight to
Right.
15 repetitions per set. All that fun stuff.
Yeah. And if it was 8 to 10 exercises per muscle group,
Or not per muscle group. 8 to 10 exercises total. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I was
Yeah.
gonna say, it's like 8 to 10, but like that's a I don't know if
Yeah,
anybody's ever gonna do that.
God, no, yeah, you're working out for 8 hours. Like if you only have one opportunity to work out this week, you're working out all day.
Yeah, yeah. Oh man, it's like a fun CrossFit competition at home. Just do it all day long by yourself.
I'm glad you caught that because somebody was going to listen and go, "What the hell?" Like, no, I
Yeah,
don't want to do this. I
yeah.
want to happen.
No, no.
What's he talking about?
But to what Matt, I feel like Matt has in his head there is 8 to 10 working sets per muscle group per week is
What I was thinking is eight to 10 exercises total for the workout. Like, and there's so hitting every major muscle group, and then looking at that, like they're different research. You're probably gonna do less than this, but like a lot of research now, I know suggesting like between 12 and 20 sets per muscle group. So, and typically for a lot of people, that's breaking it up into 2 different workouts. But again, minimally, something's better than nothing. So yeah, if you can get
right.
4 sets per muscle group in that one workout, or 3 or whatever, it's more than what you're doing if you just are sitting on your butt and not doing
Right. And if you start, so with Matt's current research that he just cited there, that 12 sets per muscle group per week is the strength part of it, not a cardiovascular thing. That's just strength exercise. So if you are a person that is able to work out 6 days a week and you have your one day off of possible active recovery or just a completely day off, that doesn't mean that you need to do like 2 sets per muscle group every single one of those days.
it.
That's
No,
gonna
that recovery is key.
yeah, that ends up neglecting the benefits there. You still need to have days where you're recovering from an exercise. Like Matt's favorite thing to work out, you go back in, check out one of our old podcasts. I'll link it in the show notes. Is chest. That's Matt's favorite thing. Matt wants to be. He wants a
So,
giant
so,
bench
so it's
press.
just one side with it now.
Yeah, yeah. Currently, soon, one day he will be back to using both hands. Uh, but if Matt wanted to do that, it was 12 sets for chest in a whole week. He wouldn't try to do bench press every single day.
No, like typically, like you're talking about, like working out 6 days a week, and we chronicled that when I was doing that earlier this year. I'm doing something very similar now. Obviously, the intensity is a lot less, but yeah, like I do a push pull legs type thing. So yeah, it's like yeah, so it's just 2 days of chest. So it's yeah, 6 to 10 sets, 2 days a week with yeah, plenty of recovery time in between.
Right. And so if you get 6 days in a week, I would suggest doing something kind of what Matt's looking at there, or maybe 4 days a week of lifts and 2 days a week of cardiovascular work, and then take one day a week off. That's going to give you adequate amount of rest to recover from each of those muscle groups, but also add in the cardiovascular aspect. And so if you start breaking it down from 6 days a week to 5 days a week to 4 days a week to 3 and 2 of your available workout times, when it gets all the way down to one, still total body strength is superior to cardiovascular.
Absolutely.
And when you go up to 2 days a week, one day of strength training, one day of cardiovascular work, or upper, lower, small, fit some walks in somewhere.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of yeah. If you don't have a lot of time, just working on increasing some steps. Just walk a little bit further throughout the day. More activities of daily living.
Yeah. And I'll say this. I Oddly enough, this is the comedy piece of it. On Was it yesterday? It was either yesterday. No, it wasn't yesterday morning. It was Monday morning, so the 3rd of July. My two children that I pushed in the stroller both stepped on the scale. Not because I make them step on the scale, but because I was stepping on the scale, then they wanted to turn, so they stepped on the scale. And it worked out to be almost exactly 75 pounds between the two of them. So I pushed a 75-pound sled for a very long distance. And my body is feeling it today. I I have found new muscles that I forgot that I had. um, but
that's a good principle of progression because they're going to continue to get bigger and just like even when they're capable of walking themselves everywhere. No, I'm just like no, you got to get in the stroller like I'm pushing
yeah, well, I'm
you.
just so the problem with, and I've said it before to my wife when we were at Run Club, and they one of them will say, "I want to get out and walk," and not me. Someone else will say, "Okay, that's fine," and they get out. And they're 4 years old and 2 years old, respectively. Easily distracted. The goal is to walk out to this point, and then we're going to turn around. We're going to walk back. Oh, look, there's a rock on the ground. Look at this one. It's like suddenly this 20-minute endeavor has now become a 45-minute walk. Why are we still out here? Start again. So, in the essence of 6.2 miles, and also because we were at the beach and they knew that we were going to go to the beach after we are done, you have to do this loop thing twice. And so we get done with the first one, and they were both like, "Oh, we're done now." I was like, "Nope, we're gonna go one more time all the way around." Oh, it was. I'll post the pictures on our Facebook page of my screenshots of my to compare everything, because it's really comical. You see, there's this one giant spike of my pace goes, it's like all even, then my pace gets really really slow, and I know distinctly it's because one of them was pushing on the other one, and I had to stop, be like, "Stop touching him! Stop touching him! Put your hands in your laps. Everybody be okay." Um, but if you are a person out there and you haven't gone over to franchisenf.com to sign up for your free meet and greet, you should go ahead and do that now. We can work it into your schedule. We can help you work exercise into your schedule. How does fitness work best for you? So that way you can find something that's optimal for you and your life and achieving your goals. Granted, if your goals are to be a world record powerlifter or an international fitness bodybuilder or a physique competitor or some of those things like that, one workout session a week is not going to get you there, right? So if
Oh
that's where you're going to go,
man.
if that's where you're going to go, um, you're going to be looking at closer to the optimal setup that Matt was talking about earlier with the 12 sets to 20 sets of per muscle group per week. And so working yourself up to that, if I have to go from where I'm at right now, my one exercise workout day a week, up to that, how would you, Matt, progress me from one total body day up to 4 days of strength training?
So we would start out with that one day, then eventually we'd go to 2 day two. I typically would do two non-consecutive days again for full body. If you're enjoying full body, it's what's going to work best for you. Like for me, like I mentally kind of get burned out doing a full body routine. Like I like to do very muscle specific stuff and movement specific. But if you're enjoying the full body, say if you're doing that one day a week on a Monday, all right, let's do it Monday and Wednesday. And then we can start kind of doing a split. So for you, I'd probably do like, kind of a push one day, pull one day, and then repeat. And, kind of breaking up the lower body within that as well. Again, what's going to fit best into your lifestyle. Or even if it's non consecutive, before I've done like a, push, pull, and then like a full body, all kinds of crazy stuff. So there's no typical right answer as long as we're eventually building up to hitting those rep ranges and what's going to fit into your lifestyle and what's going to ultimately lead to your recovery. And then we may program like that for 6 8 12 weeks and then switch it all up. Go, okay, we've been 3 days a week doing full body, let's try something fun. Now we're going to do more muscle specific days.
Right. And I completely agree with that approach. I personally have done total body 3 days a week, having a day off in between each day. Again, give yourself the recovery day. Your muscles need it. If you are trying to do the exact same muscle group every single day, there's not a lot of studies or even anecdotal evidence that supports this can help with muscle growth having that repetitive breakdown. Even Dorian Yates, when he was doing his whole blood and guts routine, did do bench press every single day. He only worked out like 45 minutes. And we talked about that on a previous, the high intensity training kind of thing. Like, that's a different topic altogether we already covered. But even there, he would still take a day off or two in between working a muscle group. Of course, he did gigantic weights and pushed it to like absolute failure. But if you're trying to build yourself into kind of a more pro style split, you can go from the full body routine 3 days a week. And then when you jump up to 4 days a week, that's where you can start splitting it up into being like upper, lower, upper, lower. Pick out some different exercises for your two upper days. So that way you're kind of doing a little bit different with the joint angles. So that way you don't over fatigue one set of joint angles. And also you're going to still see progression in individual lifts. And then when you get up to 5 days a week, you can go with the classic bro style splits. So that's going to help you just get more muscles specific. And also that gives you the progressive overload inside of a workout. So that way your chest workout, your back workout can go from your strongest, hardest lift at the beginning to something that's seemingly quote unquote easy exercise, but it's still going to feel like a hard, strong exercise because you've already put in so much work leading up to that last exercise in the set or in the exercise routine day. But either way, that's a lot of little anecdotal pieces so you guys can kind of see what we do when we're working with clients where we're trying to help you all build to reaching your goals and help you get to what you're trying to do.
Yeah, I think the main takeaway from that is that it's not a one size fits all approach. It's again, like I think we preach this all the time ad nauseum of just like it's what fits into your lifestyle. Like the way I'm training right now, even with one arm, does not fit into your lifestyle because you you do not
I
have
have
the
two.
time for that, and I'm jealous of that.
Ah.
But it's ultimately it's like, okay, what's the goal, what fits in your lifestyle, and where do those two things meet? And so I think it's so easy to hop on Instagram or Twitter and hit, oh, this is the absolute best workout that every man should do. And no, there's no workout like that. That does not exist. So head over to franchisenf.com. That way we can set you up for a workout that will fit into your lifestyle, set you up for a nutrition program that will fit into your lifestyle. It's not the be all end all. This is the one thing that's going to work for everybody, because that's not true.
Okay. But yeah, that's all I got for this week. What about you, Matt? Any other things you want to add on?
I mean, I think we covered it.
All right. So if you want to maximize everybody in every rep, you head on over to franchisenf.com. Like we say every week, maximize every bite.
You stepped on our tagline already, but maximize every rep.
It's okay. I'll cut it out.